Hey guys, it's Joskar. I'm here to bring you a guide for Titania EX, one of the 2 new extreme trials introduced in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Prior to starting the fight, place a marker on the ground to decide which water puddle each person should take care of. Place B and D down as well to split into 2 groups. Optimally, each group should have 2 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 healer. Starting with your healers, mark your healers and your DPS 1 through 6. Since there is not a 6th marker, we opted to use the Do Not Target 1 button. Titania's first mechanic is Bright Sabbath, which is a room-wide AoE. The next mechanic is Phantom Rune. If there is a purple mist, you want to get out of max melee range. If there's a green mist, you want to get into the middle of her hitbox. The first one is always scripted to be purple, so you will dodge out. Mist Rune will place 8 timed water puddles around the room. 4 of them will be in melee range at the cardinals of the boss, and 4 are in the corners of the room. Stand in these puddles until the timer goes off. If a water puddle doesn't have a person standing in it, it will spawn an ad. The ad will need to be taken care of or it will explode. For Flame Rune, split into your groups and stack for the fire AoE in the water puddles by the boss. The next move is Divination Rune, which is a wide cone AoE tank buster. Tanks should mitigate this and point it north away from the group. Non-tanks are liable to die if they stand in this. The next mechanic is Chain of Brambles. The goal is to break the tether by spreading it apart. Everyone should stack in the middle. Each DPS will be tethered to a tank or a healer. Our group has DPS sprint to the northwest. Tanks and healers sprint to the southeast. The tethers have to be stretched a certain distance from their initial size. The further you are from your tether buddy at the start, the harder it is to break them. Start heading to your corner when the Thorny Vine debuff is applied. Titania casts another Phantom Rune. This time it's scripted to be green, which means you need to dodge into the middle of her hitbox. Titania gets bored of being in her castle, so she casts Midsummer Night's Dream and replaces the entire arena with grass. Who knew that we would be fighting our trial against one of Shakespeare's biggest fans? For Titania's next mechanic, a tether is placed onto a player. The tether will hit a total of 6 times and place a debuff on each person it hits. Our group passes the tether from healer to healer, then from DPS to DPS. Prior to pulling, we discussed the order. Most groups go by the order of the party list. We exploded on B. Taking more than one of the tether's blasts can be fatal unless you're a tank. Baylight is a tank buster that hits multiple times. Tanks should mitigate through this. Some groups opt to split the damage between 2 tanks. This can also be addled. The next mechanic is Growth Rune plus Chain of Brambles. Like before, the goal is to break the tether by spreading apart. But this isn't enough to appease Titania's playfulness, so she has decided to cover the room with Growth Runes. Stack in the middle. Look for the safe corners, and pop sprint. Our group sends the DPS to the north safe corner, and tanks and healers to the south safe corner. Once the cast bar on the Chain of Brambles fills, run to your safe corner. Once your tether snaps, turn around and run back in before the vines cleave you. Titania casts Divination Rune again. If you ran to the north side to split your tether, make sure to be back on the south side before this hits the tank. The next mechanic is Frost Rune. Frost Rune is a bunch of white Shiva circles. The first one will spawn in the middle, then one will spawn on the outside of the room. More will spawn in a clockwise or a counterclockwise pattern until the room is filled. To dodge this, move to where the last circles will spawn. Wait for the middle circle to go off, then run back into the middle. If you fail to dodge this, you will get a Vuln stack and take some hefty damage. Right after, purple AoE circles will form on you. Spread these into the directions that you spread for your normal water puddles. Phantom Rune goes off again. This one is scripted for you to dodge into Titania's hitbox to be safe. Next up is the ad phase. 3 ads spawn around the room. Mustard Seed on the east, Puck to the north, Peace Blossom to the west. Peace Blossom and Puck must be tanked. Mustard Seed does not need to be tanked. Start with Mustard Seed and DPS him down. Mustard Seed will cast Leaf Storm, which creates 3 AoE lines at an angle. Puck will cast Gentle Breeze, which creates a line AoE to dodge. Peace Blossom will also cast Peace Bomb, which creates spread AoEs around various party members. Spread the AoE markers while dodging the AoE lines. After Mustard Seed is down, switch to Puck and DPS him down. After Puck is down, switch to Peace Blossom and DPS him down. During the ad phase, Puck and Peace Blossom do tank busters. Peace Blossom uses Hard Swipe, while Puck uses Pummel, which places a stacking debuff on the tank that reduces blunt resistance. Titania then causes her ads to grow. In turn, this causes the size of the mechanics to grow. Just like the previous phase, we will start with Mustard Seed, then kill Puck, then kill Peace Blossom. The first mechanic Mustard Seed casts is Leaf Storm. This time it creates 7 line AoEs that spread much further throughout the room. Peace Blossom also casts Peace Bomb, which places large AoE circles on 4 party members. Spread these AoE markers in between the line AoEs. Ranged, please keep in mind that melee DPS will want to be closer to the ad. Please try to give them room. After the AoE circles go off, Puck will cast Puck's Breath, which is a stack marker. Healers should top everyone off before this stack. We stack the marker on B directly in front of Mustard Seed so that our melee can keep uptime. Mustard Seed will then cast a room-wide AoE, Whispering Wind, which does damage based on the amount of HP Mustard Seed has left. Afterwards, a blue circle will appear in the center of the room, and vines will grow out of the ground. One set of vines will be in the north corner. The other set of vines will be in the opposite southern corner. Like previous Chain of Brambles phases, we send our DPS to the safe north side, and our tanks and healers to the safe southern side for uptime. The safe corners will always be diagonal to each other. Position yourself as close to the blue circle as possible without stepping in it. The blue circle applies a knockback. Point yourself to the corner. This will allow the knockback to break your tether. You might have to make an additional movement if your tether doesn't break. At the same time, Mustard Seed casts another Leaf Storm. Immediately position yourself into the safe zone so you don't die. Next, Puck will cast Puck's Breath, which is a stack marker, and Peace Blossom will cast Peace Bomb, which are large AoE spread markers. If you do not have the spread markers, get into the stack marker. We try to position the stack marker in front of the boss we are currently fighting, so melees and associated tank can have uptime. DPS that adds down before Titania's power gets to 100, and you'll transition out of the ad phase. Stack in the middle for healing as Titania will hit the room with her ultimate. Titania will cast Mist Rune again, and place the 8 water circles out. Do not run to them yet. She quickly also casts Phantom Rune. If it has a green aura, stay in the middle of her hitbox. If it has a purple aura, get out of the max melee range towards your water circle. Once Phantom Rune resolves, stand in your water circle. Furthermore, it's important we have access to all 4 water circles that are located by the boss. Move to your usual stack locations in groups B and D. The boss will start casting Flame Rune. The boss will also cast Growth Rune. If the runes are next to your water circles, you will want to rotate clockwise. D will go to A, B will go to C. If the growth runes are by A and C, you're able to stay where you are. Continue DPSing the boss. The next attack will be Phantom Rune. If it's purple, get out of max melee range. If it's green, stack in the boss. The next attack is Bright Sabbath, which is the room-wide AoE. Phaelite is the tank buster that hits multiple times. Frost Rune will be cast again and will work the same way as before. Bright Sabbath will be cast again. Titania will do another tether phase. Titania will do another Growth Rune plus Chain of Brambles combo. Stack in the middle. Find your safe spot, pop sprint, run to the safe spot. When your Chain of Brambles breaks, turn around and run back before the vines hit you. Titania will then do a Phantom Rune. If it's purple, get out of melee range. If it's green, stack in the middle of her hitbox. Titania will follow this with another Phantom Rune. That will be the opposite of what you did before. Titania will cast Bright Sabbath again, which is a room-wide AoE. Titania will cast Divination Rune, which is the wide cone AoE tank buster. Finally, Titania will long cast Bright Sabbath, which will serve as the enrage time. DPS the boss down before this and you will win the fight.